guys, welcome back to Pause and welcome back to World Discovery. So it's been a while, it's been a couple of months, well about a month or so since we've been in this park. So yeah, we are getting back into it today. So yay, for those people who've been asking me. I'm sorry it took a while, but we are back in there now. So what are we going to do then? So for those who are new to this series, I do recommend checking out all the other episodes to sort of get a feel of the park. Generally, this is our World Discovery Epcot style park, so basically a world showcase, like the Epcot World Showcase, so heavily inspired by that, using the countries that were added in the World's Fair pack all those many months ago, which are all these countries here, with the flags representing that at the park entrance. So we'll give a very quick tour around the park for those who are new. So basically you come into the park, over this direction you've got the American themed area, Mexico towards the back, over the bridge over there you go into France. To this side of the park, which we started working on the most recently, is the Germany themed area, and then over this bridge is going to be our next country, and that is what we're going to get started to work on today. So join me in the time lapse as we get cracking building a new country. So it's weird to be back in, I'll be honest with you. It's been a long while since we've done anything in this park. So the thing that the country that I decided to do, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail and the description anyway, and we're starting with Japan. Just next to Germany, just here. So it will split up the two sort of Asian countries, and I've always planned to do China the opposite side of the main lake, so the main entrance as you come in. So yeah, we're going to do Japan. Now, I need to make a little comment first of all before we get into this episode. I am not very good with geography and sort of cultures, so I apologise in advance if I get things mixed up here, because I think I have. So if there is bits of China in here, like I think these dragons are probably more China than Japan, I'm not actually sure, so I could do with your guys' help on this one. So if there's anything I've put in this that is a bit too China rather than Japan, please let me know, because I'm not 100% sure on the differences. This entrance arch is inspired by a feature that can be found in the Japan Pavilion in the, at Epcot. Oh my god, my words. At Epcot in Walt Disney World. It's a little feature that is actually in the water. Now I've took that inspiration and turned it into an entrance arch. The only bit, like I say, I'm not sure of is the little dragons. So if they are a bit too China, please let me know and I will replace them with something else. I think I need to tone down the colours. I don't think the bright red is strictly Japanese, but again I might be wrong, so I really could do with some help on this one because I'm not very good. I've never been to either country, so yeah, I'm a bit limited on knowledge, so I apologise if I do offend anybody with anything I've done here. My intentions were good, and I'm trying to represent Japan, so let me know if I've done anything wrong. So what we are doing here is, this is just the pathway that leads from Germany. So I just wanted there to be an archway which is going to end up being in the sort of centre of the bridge, which is the entrance and exit of the country. And I want it to all be quite symmetrical, as you'll see as we get building after this arch, because it's directly down this pathway at the very end is going to be the first building in the Japanese area. It's a very simple building. It's sort of perfectly square. It fits the symmetrical nature that I'm going for perfectly, as you'll see. And it's going to house a quite a big restaurant, quick service restaurant. But it's going to house quite a big restaurant. So you'll see that towards the end of the footage as we get that building. I think it turns out quite nice actually. It's going to be, like I say, symmetrical on all four sides. And yeah, I think it turns out quite nice. So anyway, back to this archway. Like I said, it's heavy inspiration from one that you can find in Walt Disney World, except the dragons, which is why I don't think the dragons fit. I put a little bit of lighting on it. We have not done any signage yet. We will do. I will do a sort of signage pass. I might even do some on billboards. I haven't decided just yet, but we'll have a play of that down the line. But yeah, I think it works quite well. As I say, this is just entrance area. We sort of make a very primitive sort of fence to go either side of it as well that sort of matches. So yeah, as an entrance, I think it's quite good. I quite like it. But like I said, I just need your guys' help on just confirming to me whether or not it would be something that you'd find in Japan, because I'm not 100% sure. So obviously a bit of realism to put it down to the floor. You don't want things floating because that's not very realistic. Here I'm just toying with a few ideas of fences. I did think to actually put just an in-game fence in, but nothing really matched that I wanted it to do. So instead we try a few different bits here, and yeah, we end up not with this one, but I do end up with something similar. There's just a bit of a darker colour. I think it turns out okay. I think we need to put a few more details on it, a few bits of lighting or something would probably work quite well. But then we'll add benches and bins and all that kind of good stuff towards the end. One other thing we haven't done yet is the landscaping around this entrance area. Basically between the bridge and Germany and the archway, or this whole green area you can see in the background, there's going to be quite a bit of landscaping going on. I do want Japan to feel really pretty. As that is the one thing that I can sort of take away from any footage, photos, that kind of stuff that I've seen. It seems to be a very pretty place, so I want to try and very pretty, tidy, and sort of everything's regimented, it seems, in terms of gardens and stuff. So that's what we're going to try and go for when we start doing the planting. We do a little bit outside of the building in a few minutes when we start getting to that, but nothing too over the top. So in terms of the lighting, then I wanted it to be relatively subtle, so I've just put some actual floodlight box lights in the structure itself, just to uplight things, which I think gives a nice effect. Again, I'm not sure if the dragons are suitable, but we can always replace those with something else if not. But I just like this idea of the uplighting. I think it looks really good. Just using the natural shape of everything really to make to hide these lights quite well. And yeah, I think it turns out quite well, quite good to be fair. So yeah, like I said, just let me know if anything's a bit off, and I'll try and rectify it. So yeah, it's good to be back anyway on World Discovery. I'll just talk a little bit about why there's not been anything for a while. So I was doing quite a lot on this park. I was doing maybe 3, 4, 5 hours a week recording, and it just got to a stage where I was getting a bit burnt out. So that's why I took a few months break. Been dabbling around with a few other games and just other projects, and I think now is the time to get back into it. I've always planned to come back in since the Classic Rides collection was launched, as I think this area is going to be a perfect place for that pagoda ride, the sort of observation tower thing, which was released, I say, in Classic Rides. So I think that is obviously going to be something we're going to put in this park, in this area. At some point. That was the main reason why I wanted to do Japan next, because I really want to get that new ride in there. So that's something we'll probably start working on, maybe next episode, not sure, maybe an episode after that. I think there's probably going to be maybe 2 attractions in this area, maybe 3, I'm not sure just yet. The pagoda is definitely one, and I think it's going to be more of a food area than attractions, and we might put in sort of like a cinema or something, not obviously in game, that's not going to happen because they don't have one, but we can sort of imply that there's like a cinema or a stage show or something inside one of the buildings in this area, because as of yet we've not really put any kind of shows or anything in, mainly because, like I say, the game doesn't really allow it, so it's hard to do that, but I think we could have a play around. So sorry, I'm so tired, I'm yawning, so unprofessional. But yeah, so I think we'll put a few little show venues in moving forwards. So yeah, that's something we'll work on probably next time. So in terms of this building then, like I said, it's very simple. We're just using a few of the little, I can't remember what the set's called. Nope, can't remember, it's gone completely. And the footage is too small on my screen to see at the moment, so I can't read it. But yeah, we're just using the sort of this, I think it's meant to be the Japan set, I'm fairly certain it is anyway. And yeah, it turns out quite nice. The way I've decided to build this, because I wanted it to be very symmetrical, the only differences that it's going to have the front to the sides is the entrance. This is going to be the main entrance into the restaurant. There's going to be some exits at either side as well, but that's the only difference of this side. Is going to have the signage and the main entrance archway. But other than that, it's going to be quite a symmetrical building. So I decided to build it just one-sided and then sort of copy and paste around, so it was symmetrical. Yes, it does also save time, but the main reason, like I said, I did that was because I did want this to be very, very symmetrical from all angles. So that's what we do. The inspiration from this, again, Google Images, just typing in like Japanese buildings and things, and this is something. Not this building, but something similar came up. Mainly just this roof area really is what I've taken the inspiration from. But I think it turns out quite good. Like I say, it's simple, but I think it's quite effective. So that's what we end up doing just here. I had a bit of a funny time with these roofs. They are the in-game World Fair pack roofs. Quinn Dynasty, I think they are Dynasty. Roof set, but they are just a bit fiddly with walls, and they all seem to be slightly off piecing together as well, which I've noticed. It's the first time I've ever built with this set, and yeah, the certain elements just don't seem to work together, or at least not as well as you would expect it to. So certain sort of edging pieces and corners just don't seem to fit. So it did take me a while to get the roof right, and you'll see as we get round to the side portions in a few minutes. As there's a secondary roofing that goes on top to kind of cap it off, and I had a massive trouble with that, trying to find pieces that would work. In the end, I think it turns out quite nice, but yeah, it was a struggle. Honestly, it was a struggle to do it. But again, it's the same with anything. I mean, the first time you try and use a set or new pieces, it does take a while to figure it out. I think that's why there's so much pressure really when you record in a time lapse, because you want to try and not leave any dead space. I mean, obviously I can just edit that out, but obviously it's quite tricky when you're doing like I say, a time lapse build to start faffing around. So sometimes that pressure does get to you when you're building with a new set, to try and just slap stuff down and try and error. But that is the genius of the game. It's a Lego set at the end of the day. Trying to just see what pieces fit together, look nice, and what works. So yeah, this corner was what I was struggling with. I couldn't seem to find anything. I think because the pieces are slightly off grid, these high roof sections, it was a real struggle to find something that fit in here. So in the end, what we did, as you'll see, we put in another little corner piece, another little raised corner piece. So I think it does actually turn out quite nice in the end. And then we sort of fill out this, and it gives it a little sort of cap off to the other roof as well, which I think works. I like it anyway. Again, I don't know if it's strictly if it's something that you would find in a real sort of Japanese building, but I think it works. Again, anyone who knows a bit more about this than I do, let me know. But I think it kind of works quite well, and I'm relatively happy with it. So we do stick that around the edge to make it, like I say, relatively symmetrical. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is every time I do these recordings, I keep yawning. I've had a long night. So yeah, entrance area just here. Like I say, we're putting in a bit of signage. It's going to be a chow mein shop, chow mein chow, and we take out these little pagoda roof pieces for this one. Again, let me know if it's a bit too Chinese. And then we'll put the other ones back on. I just liked it. I think it works quite well with the sign. But I'm open to suggestions. Like I say, if it's a bit off, let me know, because I'm not that sure. And this might sound so ignorant, but I'm just not overly sure of the differences, if I'm being honest, between the sort of Chinese and Japanese architecture. I'm really struggling to figure out what the actual differences are. So if someone could explain that to me, I would be very much appreciative. And I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible when I discuss this, because it is ignorance. I'll be honest, it's pure ignorance on my part. So any help would be appreciated. So this little entrance way here, like I say, this is where we put in the first little bit of planting in the area just to give it a theme. So we go for a kind of bamboo theme, bamboo and topiaries. Yeah, that's right. And just some little tropical rocks as well to make it look a little bit like a rock garden, which to me seems Japanese. But again, let me know if there's anything wrong with the things I've done today. So that's pretty much coming to the end of the time lapse. There'll be a few little shots at the end which will just show you through the area in real time. But yeah, like I said, please drop me your comments down below. Let me know what I can do to improve this. If there is anything else that you would like to see in this area, give me some inspiration, let me know, and I'll try and put that in. And yeah, just are you excited that World Discovery is back? Let me know. Drop the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like. Subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with all of our content. Fancy a chat, head over to Twitter and Discord. And if you want to help us out, you can do that by going to the Patreon page. All the links are down below in the description. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.